Hello, welcome back to episode 7 of the Phos Devlog series. In this past month, Phos has passed the first roadmap on the release to the demo, and I am happy to report that I am on track so far, technically. There is one task I did not manage to fully complete, that is the creation of a set of basic units. I have created most of the units, but one more is still needed. On the other hand, I'm ahead of schedule by completing a task scheduled for the next milestone, the building footprint system. With that out of the way, let's move on to the devlog. I have fully implemented the ability to construct units. Units that are constructed will now pathfind to the closest empty tile near the factory, instead of picking a random spot. Currently there is no resource cost for building units. That is pretty easy to implement, so I'm planning to leave that until later. I need to sort out a bunch of other stuff to do with construction. Mainly I need to visualize the build queue, and allow it to be modified. I'm not sure where on the UI I'll put this display, but the initial implementation will be in the actions panel. I'll have to see how that works out. I've added a new animation for constructing buildings. In order to implement this, I needed to rework how I handled submeshes for buildings. Mainly, I needed to migrate every building to use submeshes. In order to do that, I needed to have a method to allow buildings to make relative references to its submeshes. I also implemented the ability for submeshes to respond to the current state of a building, such as being powered. This submesh feature has also been added to units. This month I also decided to overhaul the way I handled collisions in Phos. The way I implemented collision layers in Phos is starting to become very cumbersome. A lot of things are needlessly verbose, and there are a lot of excessively hard-coded layer masks. I decided to leverage C#'s flag enums to help streamline the process of applying collision masks. During this process I have broken a lot of existing collision detection. I'm still working on this overhaul. But once it is over, it'll be a whole lot easier to handle. This also affects raycasting. Buildings in Phos can now be rotated before being placed. This new feature complements the other building features, especially the footprint feature. Now you can really build buildings tightly packed together with everything fitting together like a puzzle. This should present interesting gameplay with the adjacency bonuses. Implementing rotation was surprisingly simple. It only took a few minutes and it was already ready to go. Rotating buildings after they've been placed is not a feature I plan to implement. I've added a few new models to Phos. First model is the Metal Forge building. This is the building that gives you access to steel and is also required for a lot of T2 buildings. I've also added a model for the mobile artillery unit. This unit, as the name suggests, is an artillery turret that can move around. It will have greater range than the basic tank, but will be a lot more fragile and unable to fire at close range. In the next month I'll be focusing on ironing out the new collision layer system. Once that is done, I will continue to work on the remaining units and implement them. I've also recently discovered some sources of memory leaks, which I'm currently resolving. A lot of these are the result of a pretty simple mistake, where I cleared a memory of the contents of the array but not the array itself. Hopefully there aren't too many of these hidden in my code. We'll find out in the next devlog. Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss it. Add Phos to your wishlist on Steam and leave a like on the video.